Hey everybody, Mr. E here. I'm so excited today to do a stand-up comedy routine with you on the coronavirus, aka COVID-19. But if I tell you any jokes, you're gonna have to wait 2 weeks to see if you got them. Do you get it? If not, rewind it. All right, since I can't do stand-up comedy, we're gonna do a little stand-up math here today, and we are gonna start talking about variables. What is a variable? I bet most of you are thinking right now, you know what a variable is, and you're thinking X, Y, any letter. Basically, a variable is something that is going to represent something mathematically. So usually how you guys are gonna see it is a variable is going to be a letter that is going to represent a number. So we're gonna talk a lot about expressions, equations, and inequalities. Let's start with expressions. What is an expression? So an expression, okay, is something that does not have an equal sign. And I'm gonna take this a step further and we're gonna talk about algebraic expressions. And we're really looking for two things here. We're looking for a variable and we're looking for an operation. No, I don't wanna have my ACL repaired or back surgery again, all right? By operation, I mean adding, subtracting, multiplying and dividing. I know, you guys are thinking, how does he teach math when he should be on stage giving comedy tours? And you know, I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. All right, so this is the basis of what we're gonna be going over today. We're gonna be writing expressions, algebraic expressions. They're gonna have a variable and an operation. All right, so let's look at something that many of us like. I know I love Cedar Point. My boys are young, but I think they'll love Cedar Point. I know many of you love Cedar Point. So if we look at this chart, student 1 goes to Cedar Point 3 times, and student 2 that same year goes 5 times, okay? Student 1 goes 5 times, and then that same year, student 2 goes 7 times. Student 1 goes 10 times, student 2 goes 12. If I use a variable X, and that is going to represent how many times student 1 goes. Remember, a variable is a letter that's used to represent something. X represents student 1. What would be an algebraic expression that would represent student 2? So this would be a time where you could try it on your whiteboard, pause the video and see if you get it right. So I would pause it now. Okay. Now you're back with me. If X represents student 1, is there any pattern here? The pattern is that we're always adding 2. So if X represents any amount of times that student 1 goes, student 2 would simply be X plus 2. That's an algebraic expression because it has two things. It has a variable and it has an operation. Mind blown. All right? Okay. So we're gonna have a chance to practice writing some of these expressions today, and I'm gonna break down some for you. We're gonna go really slow. How I would encourage you to read it, after I read the written out form of the expression, I would then like you guys to try it on your whiteboard, pause the video, and then I'm gonna go through and check these. So I'm gonna go in a continuous fashion, but if you pause it along the way, you can see how your understanding is. All right, first one, it says 6 more than a number C. What? 6 more than a number C? Mr. E, are you not paying attention? Letters aren't numbers, but in algebra, they can be because a letter can be used to represent a number. Think, 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 okay? So 6 more than a number C. If you have 6 more than a number C, what are the key words here? It is more than, all right? What operation does that mean? That means we're gonna add. So we're gonna add 6 plus C, or C plus 6. Either one works. Got those thinking caps on? These seem easy, they're actually really tricky, so be careful. Let's look at the next one. It says twice a number B. What? There's that number B. B's a letter, not a number, but in algebra, it can be both. You get that? I didn't even plan that. It can be both. I know, you guys are thinking, I need to get on stage now. All right, twice a number B. Again, pause the video and try this. What does it mean for twice a number B? Twice means like you're doubling it. What operation is this? You're multiplying. So 2 times B, B times 2. In algebra, the way that we write multiplication is you put the number next to the letter. All three of these would be accepted. This is my favorite one because we don't mess around with the time sign, because the time sign looks like an X. Okay, here comes a tricky one. Some of your 5th grade teachers went over this one last year. That's a tricky one right there, you guys. All right, 25 less than a number D. When you see less than, you have to take it away from. So again, you want to pause the video and try it, go ahead. You're back. All right, 25 less than a number D. Again, that just doesn't make any sense. A number D, but a letter can be used to represent a number. When you see less than, you have to take the 25 away from. So this is the one where you switch the order, and it would be D minus 25. All right, let's pick up the pace a little bit. I'm back after picking up the pace. All right, and whoa, we went too fast. I think the Clever Touch picked up the pace. All right, so the product of 7 and E. What does the word product mean? You can pause it and try it on your own. If you're back, you're right. It means you're going to multiply. So you could say 7 times E. You could say E times 7 because the community property multiplication. You really want to impress me though? You would say 7E. 7E. 50 divided by a number F. That operation is right there. Expressions need two things: an operation and a variable. Doesn't matter what order, but they need them both. Okay, an operation and a variable. So 50 divided by a number F. So we're going to put 50 divided by F, or you can put 50 over F because a fraction is a division symbol. You don't need to do them both ways. One way works. The sum of a number G and 2. Again, you can pause it. The sum of G and 2 means we're going to add G plus 2 or 2 plus G, and that would be one-step expressions. All right, let's try a couple that could be a little trickier. 8 more stripes than a number H. And I think everybody's caught on by now that numbers and letters can mean the same thing in algebra. The variable is H. 8 more than, keyword more than, that means we're adding. So we're going to add 8 plus H. And when we do that, we will get our expression, or H plus 8. There's no answer. All we're trying to do here is write these expressions. All right, a really tough one. So I would like you to try this on your own without me. It says 12 fewer hats than 4 times a number I. This one has 2 parts to it. So we're going to write an expression. We're going to have a variable. We're going to have an operation. We might have 2 operations. You might have to have surgery on both knees for this one, okay? So how do you show 12 fewer hats? That would mean you subtract 12 from what? 4 times a number I. This is the answer here, and you could have written it like this. That would also work. But you can't switch the order because there's no subtraction when it comes to the commutative property. Okay? So what I would like you guys to try today is on pages 20 and 21, numbers 1 through 4, 8 through 13, 16 and 19. So that's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, and 19. Remember, this is your assignment. There's not a ton of work you can show here, so just do every problem, and even if you make mistakes, you're gonna get a hundo. That's 100. Probably looked backwards in the screen, but you're going to get 100%, so just make sure you do it. So let's start looking at these. I'm gonna do the first one with you. 12 times the number G. Gotta think here, what does that mean? 12 times the number G, that means we're multiplying. Our variable is G, so we would have 12 times G. You could have G times 12, and if you really wanted to impress me, the Verizon service in like 19 years from now, instead of 5G or 4G, will be 12G. Okay, 12G. The difference of a number M and 18. So for this one, it wants to know the difference. What does that mean? That's basically like saying you're subtracting M, and 18, okay? Yeah, if you didn't catch that, I had a free answer there on the screen that I forgot to erase. So this is your assignment. I did the first two, and I sort of gave you a freebie with my mistake on number 4. Stuff like that is going to happen, okay? Your assignment today is on pages 20 and 21 in your books, 1 through 4, 8 through 13, 16 and 19. I know these are tricky. We're going to practice these a lot over the next few weeks. Just do your best. I'm always available for questions. Let me know if you want to meet after school in the Google Meet to get some extra help. And we will go over these in the video tomorrow. So do great. Thanks.